Welcome into the Greater Texas Ford Dealers inaugural Female Athlete of the Month. From Jacksboro to Kilgore, Eastland to Dalhart, Lampasas to Gilmer, Temple, Big Spring to Sweetwater, and many points in between. We celebrate the remarkable achievements of female high school athletes based on performances on and off the field and courts. From Class 6A to private schools, it's the Greater Texas Ford Dealers Female Athlete of the Month. Joining me now, all the way from Beast, Texas, the incomparable Ella Cross of Mount Pleasant. She's also the Class 5A winner of your Greater Texas Ford Dealers Female Athlete of the Month. Well, Ella, a big congratulations to you. What did you think when you heard that you were the best in Texas?
Oh, I was so honored. I mean, we were at our playoff game and my coach pulled me over while my team was warming up and he told me and I was just shocked. I immediately wanted to call my parents because they weren't there and I'm just so honored.
Well, you've been one of the top softball hitters in this state. You hit over 500 all year. Pretty amazing stuff there. 31 RBIs, 41 runs scored, 15 stolen bases. And the thing that really amazes me is you've made just one error in 2 seasons. Incredible. What are you most proud of when you think about all your stats in the softball field?
I guess probably my on base percentage. I mean, I'm a leadoff hitter, so my job for my team is to get on base a lot, and I'm glad that I can do that for them no matter how I get on, whether it's hits, walks, whatever I do. It's just that's nice to be able to be on base a lot for my team so they can hit me in.
Well, there's so many variables when you think about softball, you know, the weather, the conditions, and all that stuff. But to be so perfect in the field with one error in 2 seasons, how have you been able to pull that off? And by the way, it was a little questionable. You probably are 100%. But how are you able to pull off that consistency over such a long period of time?
Well, I think a lot of it comes from we practice a lot, obviously, but having other outfielders, my right fielder who's another senior with me, and then my left fielder who's a junior, just having them be able to depend on them and them always talking to me, it makes it a lot easier to cover so much ground and just know that I have them backing me up all the time.
It's so fun to watch video of you hitting because you're always moving. And I think about the competition, they have no idea where you're going to hit the ball, and you can hit it anywhere on the field. How do you work at that, and how do you perfect that? Because it is really amazing when you look at the video.
Thank you. I have my slapping coach, who his name is Laren, and he's been the best with me just since I was a sophomore. Just working with me on really being able to figure out how to use my slap and where I want to use it, but then also he helps me so much. And Michael Garrett, who's my hitting coach, helps me just be able to turn that slap into a power hit whenever I really need to. And so I think just it takes a lot of practice.
Well, I know you're so prepared when you're up there, but in your mind, do you ever change kind of what you're going to do with where the ball is?
Yes, I definitely do. I mean, usually I try to go into the box with like a for sure plan on whether I'm going to slap or hit or bunt, but sometimes I'll be in and I'll see certain shifts in the field, and so I'll have to change my approach really quick just to kind of play against what the infield is doing for me.
Well, you're such a tower of power. I think of you with your height at 5'8.5", probably 6 feet with hair. We don't often see girls your height leading off. How have you been able to pull that off, and what do you enjoy about that spot so much?
I love hitting leadoff. I used to be really short, which is why I started slapping in the first place. And then when I started growing, it just kind of transitioned into going just to slapping to more power hitting. But I love hitting leadoff. It's just so fun being able to kind of mix it up and do whatever I want in the beginning. And then whenever I do have people on, I can always go back to power hitting, trying to score runs and stuff like that.
Well, your team is still in the playoffs as we tape this, and you unfortunately are not able to play on senior night. You broke a finger, had to have surgery on that. I know you had that hand thing going on right there, and you're looking to recover. How difficult has this been for you? I know you're out there supporting the girls, but I know you want to be out there in this plight to win a state championship.
Yes, it has. It's been so hard just watching my team, especially my senior girls who I've played with for so long. it's been hard watching them, but it has really like kind of renewed my sense and kind of showed me how I do take it for granted a little bit and kind of just brought me back down and really enjoying it and loving just being able to support them too and watching them go do great has been great.
Well, you talked about you and the girls. You've been playing with them for so long. You've been playing softball since you were 4 years old. What was it about the game that you fell in love with?
I I just loved always being out there. It was I played a lot of sports, but I just always came back to softball, and I think a big part of it had to do with the team that I was playing with. I played for with mostly the same girls since I was 4, and just having them really made me love the game. Getting to go all summer and all year round most of the time, just spending it with them really was a huge part of why I love softball.
And one of the girls that you've been playing with since you were 4, your cousin, Conley Zachary.
Yeah.
Talk about how the two of you have kind of played off of each other and really pushed each other all these years.
Gosh, me and Conley have been playing together for so long, and just being able to play with her in high school has been such like a great opportunity, and I love playing with her. And anyone who comes to our games will tell you if Conley's playing shortstop, I'm in center field. We talk the entire game. Doesn't matter if it's about softball, just it'll be about anything going on. We're constantly talking just back and forth, and it's just so fun. I have loved getting to play with her, but we're very competitive, and so we love to like hype each other and kind of like go back and forth. We'll fight all the time, but it's always just like very motivating.
So who's better between the two of you?
Oh, me. She
Now,
would argue with me on that one.
yeah, now I heard a rumor too when you were a little girl, the two of you being in the infield together, and you were always taking the ground balls from her. She never had a chance. Is that true?
That's what people say. I think they were my ground balls, but luckily now I'm in the outfield, so we kind of have our own territory on the field.
How much has Conley meant to you just in life and in being that partner with you throughout all these years playing softball?
So much more than anyone could imagine. I mean, like, she really is my best friend. We do everything together. We go on vacations, we do all our school stuff together. I mean, we've been together for 18 years. She is just my best friend in the whole world.
Talk about some of the other girls. You said that earlier that you've been playing together with that core there at Mount Pleasant since you were 4 years old. Who are some of the other girls that you've enjoyed going to battle with?
So my right fielder, Kaylee Silman, she's another one of the seniors, and me and her have had just so much fun, especially this year, my senior year. Just I think being in the outfield together, we spend so much time together during practice, and we're both slappers, so she's our 2 hole, and she's the funniest person, and I love getting to play with her this year. And then CJ, who's our first baseman, and then Jordan and Morgan, who are our pitchers, or Jordan's our pitcher, Morgan's our catcher. And then Kelsey, my left fielder, and one of our other catchers, BB. I've been playing with all of them since I was like 4 years old. They were in T-ball with me, and I just love them so much.
What a great bunch of girls. And I think it really separates you from everybody else because you guys have had that cohesiveness for so long, don't you think?
Yes, it makes it so much easier to play whenever you know who you're playing with. We know how each other plays the game. We know our tendencies and stuff, so it makes it really easy to like bounce off of each other and kind of know what to expect.
Well, you really burst onto the scene in softball at a very young age. Your sophomore year, you were co-district offensive player of the year, all state as well. You don't see that very much by a sophomore. How were you able to make such an immediate impact that quickly out there in East Texas?
I think just that was the year I started working with my sliding coach Laren, and that brought me a lot of confidence, I think, and just having that confidence. And that was the first year I was our leadoff. I kind of fed off other people, like kind of fueling me and telling me like, "Oh, you can do this as a sophomore." And then I just like wanted to prove myself, like, "You're right, like I am just a sophomore, but like I can lead off for this team. I can do all this." And
Yeah, you've been a pretty good sophomore, probably one of the best in the state when you look at all the total package of all the sports that you played. You were also all district, all East Texas in basketball, a major part of that incredible 36-1 team that made it all the way to the regionals and bowed out to eventual champion Frisco Liberty in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. What was that experience like?
That was one of the best experiences ever. That team truly was just my family. We spent so much time together, and I love them so much. Those girls meant everything to me, and just that whole entire season was so fun because when I think of that team, we really did do everything for each other. Nobody was selfish, and it was just such a good like team environment. I love them so much.
I know you didn't play your senior year, you focused on softball all the way, but when you look back at that experience and you think about the girls and all of what you were able to do at 36-1 and just knocking on state championships door, do you feel like that was just a special team? What do you think separated that team from some of the other ones that we've seen at Mount Pleasant?
That team was special. I don't know if there will ever be another team like that. I mean, we were so close. It was we did everything for each other and we loved each other so much. I think that's what it came down to, we would fight so hard for each other on and off the court, and I think that's why we were able to do so well together and go so far.
Well, you talked about your slapping coach, and I know you've had a lot of instrumental coaches along the way. Your travel team's been a big part of your life too when you've been out of season. How about the coaches there? What have you learned from them?
So my coaches for my travel team was actually my uncle, who's Conley's dad, and he really, and my dad, of course, was helping, but they were the ones who brought me into softball. And through everything, they showed me how to love the game, but also how to respect it really, and how to not let the game get too big. Our big thing was always like put your horse blinders on, which sounds so silly, but it was just kind of reeling it back in to focus on the game itself and not letting it get too big.
Well, there's a lot of athletic prowess in your family. I think about your immediate family. Your dad, who's a big time attorney out there, he played baseball in college at ACU. Your mother played high school basketball and track and field. And your brother is the starting catcher as a freshman on varsity. What's the competition like in the family when you guys get together?
Oh gosh, me and Drew are always competing over who's better, and we're always arguing. But we are very different in the roles that we play for our teams, but that doesn't change it. We argue all the time back and forth who's better, who's doing what. But he really is. He's so good and he works so hard for it. He's gonna do great things.
So, what has mom and dad meant to you, driving you around all these games and weathering all those rain delays?
They have just been so great. This, especially my senior year, it's been so nice. I never have to worry about them being at a game, and I'm so grateful that they're able to do that and follow me around. And it's just been so great, just having them support me and push me through these last like 2 years, especially the recruitment process. It was just so great to always have them there behind me, no matter what I did.
Well, I know your family's great, but we know who's number one. It's your dog, Charlie. What's up with that?
He is my little baby. I love him so much. He really is my son. Like, I joke all the time that I'm like a single mom because he is just my baby. I love him. He is my little fluff ball.
Well, when I think about what you've been able to do academically, I don't even know if I'm smart enough to even interview you, but I'm going to try to pull it off. You're going to play softball at Yale in the Ivy League. You're one of the top rated students in your class, highest GPA on the softball team all 4 years. 3 academic scholar awards on the team with all the practices and all the games. How have you been able to focus on the classroom as well, and why is it so important to you?
It is, my education is so important to me because at the end of the day, I love softball and I play softball, but after my 4 years in college, I'm going to go and I'm going to want a career. And I think that's why it's been so important to me, just knowing that the end goal was always getting my education and like going and building a career and a life for myself. But just my school has been so great because we have like study halls and things like that that we can do that make it so much easier to get my homework done and things like that. And I usually can get it all done like in the day in my like off periods, which is really nice. So
Well, you could have played softball at many colleges. What enticed you the most about going to Yale and being in the Ivy League?
really the people, the coaches, I love my future coaches so much. They're just so supportive and they're so great about what I was talking about earlier, how softball is just a game, and at the end of the day I'm gonna get my education and I'm gonna move on from softball. And they're just so supportive of who you are as a person. They really care about you beyond what you are in your sport.
Well, you already know your major, which is amazing. You're going to pursue a degree in molecular, cellular, and development biology. I thought maybe that's just talking about biology on your cell phone. No, I think that's something else. But how did you come up with that? And I know you want to be an orthodontist. What was it about that major that made you say that's what I want to do?
Well, I've always wanted to go. At first, I was planning on going pre med, but recently I've been doing some like shadowing with some of my local dentists here, and I've just really loved it. It's been so great, and I just now that's what I want to do. But finding that major, I just knew I needed to do something that I could get all like my prereqs in, so I could go to dental school. And that one kind of wrapped everything. I mean, it's just like a big biology, so I can get everything done that I'll need to get done to be able to go to dental school after I graduate from Yale.
Molecular cellular biology. That's a lot of stuff to put on a diploma when you get out of there. Well, we hear that you have some superstitions. You know, the air conditioner in the car has to be 72 degrees over here and 72 degrees over there. You have the same routine every time you come up to bat in the batter's box. And it doesn't matter if it's hot or cold, you're going to wear a turtleneck like me inside the studio. What is going on with that? And how do you pull that off in the heat in Texas?
It is it's hard to keep up. Sometimes I just want to take it off, but then I have to like remind myself, like, no, you've been doing this for 4 years. You got to keep up with it. But I'm definitely so superstitious. Like, I have the exact same batting gloves I've had like my entire high school, the same, like, exact same brand. I have to put my helmet and my like elbow guard and my gloves on in the same like order every time I go up to bat. Me and my throwing partner Kaylee, we have to throw in the same place. We have to do the same thing at the end of our throwing. Like, we have so many weird things, but it works. So
How did the turtleneck thing start?
just me and my cousin Carson, who was a senior when I was a freshman, always wore her sleeves. And so when I started, it was like January, and she was like, "Oh, just wear your sleeves," like my freshman year. And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then after that, she was like, "Well, you can't, like, you have to wear them every game now." And so it just stuck, and it's just never changed. I've just worn them every single game since freshman year.
And we also hear that you can carry a tune without a handle on it. That's right. You can actually play guitar, piano, and sing. You have such a beautiful voice. Your mom snuck that video to me so I can show it to everybody. Do you have a future in singing?
No, I don't.
Well,
But
come
I
on,
do
man. You
love.
got to give it a shot, right? You're a Taylor Swiftie. I mean, you
Oh,
can sing some songs.
I love Taylor Swift so much. But that's definitely just a little hobby of mine. I love playing my guitar and my piano, but I don't like doing it in front of people.
Well, we just showed it to millions, so, don't mind
Yeah.
that at all.
With all creation I sing praise to the King of Kings. You are my everything, and I will adore
You like Taylor Swift so much, so I'm wondering, when you're playing for the Ivy League championship and you come up to bat and you're down 3 and the bases are loaded and you need a walk-up song and it's Taylor Swift, what song would that be?
Probably something from Reputation. Maybe like Bad Blood or like Look What You Made Me Do. Something that would like hype me up.
What about Trouble?
Oh, that's a good one too.
Yeah, because I know you're coming up to bat, you know?
Definitely, definitely.
Well, talk about that Mount Pleasant community. You know, both your mom and dad went there. You're second generation going to that school. Everybody's an athlete in that town, and everybody supports everybody. It's such a tight knit community. How would you describe that community to someone that's never been there?
We are just so close. Like it's a town where everybody knows everybody. And you know that some people think that's a bad thing, but it's been so great for me just having so much support through everything that I've done. Like everyone is so supportive here, and especially at my school, like my coaches and teachers, it's been so nice having everyone know and kind of like give grace on some things because they know about us doing sports. And it's been so great to have that support and have my community behind me when I've been doing all this.
When you come back for your reunion, say 10 years from now, I know everybody's so proud of you in that town. What do you think your legacy will be?
Oh gosh, I hope it's that I was a great leadoff hitter. No, I really hope that people kind of see that you can go do what you want to do. You know, I never expected that I would be going to Yale, but just kind of trusting God's plan and where he was going to lead me, just to like trust in where you're going and your future, because you can, just because you're from a small town doesn't mean you can't go do big things.
That's awesome. I thought they would be like, oh, that's the girl that used to eat chicken fingers and French fries every meal.
That probably will be it too.
Well, Ella, it's so great to celebrate your accolades, and a big congratulations on being the Class 5A Greater Texas Ford Dealers Female Athlete of the Month.
Thank you.
Your Greater Texas Ford Dealers is so proud to recognize the hard work, dedication, perseverance, and passion of so many Texas high school female athletes who inspire us all. Here's this month's winners. And don't forget, you can see their interviews at Greater TX Ford for Greater Texas Ford Dealers. From Class 1A to 6A, plus private schools, we celebrate them all. Thanks so much for watching the Greater Texas Ford Dealers inaugural Female Athlete of the Month. See you next time.